we have a special guest.
No, that's the
The
special
special
guest.
guest is Jen. She were interviewing
That's
her,
right.
but Joy came back. She's back from her sabbatical, and we are so excited to have her back today.
Yep. And I'll be in touch. But we're really grateful for you today, Jen. So thank you for doing this. Hope everybody will stay on. It's going to be very quick, but we want to let you know how much the retreat impacted Jen last year and encourage you guys, if you haven't registered, to please come join us. It's going to be fantastic.
Yes, it is. And we actually have a registration end date now, March 21st. By that date, sadly, we have to let go of rooms. And so rooms will cost more. You can still register actually. So I wouldn't say it ends there, but it will go up by $300. So I would definitely go ahead and register. So I'm excited to talk to Jen today. And as you see, I'm not in my normal place. I'm letting everybody join here. As we're getting going, I want to introduce Jen in just a moment. We are in I'm actually in Joy's office. So we are starting something called A Piece where we're meeting monthly together as a team so we can discuss things. So that's why Joy popped by today. And so, Jen, will you introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about who you are and maybe where you're located if you feel comfortable with that?
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Jen Mellor. I'm going back to my maiden name soon. And I'm located kind of near Charleston in South Carolina right now. And I found Called to Peace. I think I was following Sarah McDougall, and she was like, I'm going to be at this retreat. And I was like, what retreat is that? And then I realized it was drivable from me. So being down here, and it was up kind of near Asheville. So that's how I found Called to Peace.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And are you signed up for the 2022 retreat?
Yes, and I
Yeah.
think I'm also going to be a vendor because I have a small business I started, Lyria Market, so I'm going to be doing that as
Oh,
well.
well, I'm excited. So I'm glad that everybody here, when you're in the have a break, we have, for those who have been, we tried to make it a really fun time, as women just to get away, and also invited some other people who had um, small businesses. Some were nonprofits, some were just doing really awesome things. And so they came, and in your free time, you're able to go around and kind of shop around and look. And it was really fun.
Shopping.
Yes. Who doesn't
Who
love
doesn't
shopping?
love shopping?
Yes, I know. I do. I remember getting a pair of earrings and a necklace there last year during the free time. They're like my favorite ever. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what you have. And I'm excited today to be interviewing you and talking to you about your experience. I was reading over, she sent me about her story there, and I was just really impacted by it, and just how much it meant to you. And then I want people to know too, is something that really impacted me is that as we're in a scholarship drive right now as well, when you are donating to a woman to go to a retreat, it doesn't just stop with her. And when you were like, I saw hope in women's eyes there, and now you're in the advocacy course, and you're like,
Mhm.
I want to give back to other women, and I want to help other women come to a place of healing from what I found at this retreat. And so I was just like, wow, like we don't realize how impactful things are. It's just a small, we're not small, but a pebble thrown in the stream, but it just trickles out into so many people's lives and also into our children's lives. And so I encourage you too, if you're watching this, as far as donations, we still have 4 more days to go to Scholarship Women, to the He Makes All Things New Women's Retreat that cannot afford to go otherwise. And yes, please say hello in the comments and to let us know where you're from. Hello, Terry. And so, Jen, will you tell me a little bit about your experience at the retreat? What was just the highlight for you?
Yeah, I think so. I almost didn't go, and my new friend Jana reached out to me, and she was because I was dealing with like a lot of women, severe fatigue, and so even
Mhm.
driving the 4 hours seemed impossible. And so and I was a scholarship person, so that's
Yay.
in terms of helping with scholarships, and I think I don't know. Once I started going public with my story after the retreat, I had so many people reach out to me, and I've lost count of how many people I've directed to Cold a Piece. I think is it Susan or the gal that vets people? She's always like, "Okay, I see you added 5 more people. We got to get them connected or whatever." So, but I almost didn't go, and then one of the other gals just reached out and said, "Look, I'm halfway point if you want to spend the night here," and that is actually what helped me be able to go because I felt like that was doable. And I think that was like the beginning of the sisterhood that I met when I was there. And it's one of those things where you show up and I think there was like roughly 500 women or something. And at first you're like heartbroken that there's so many women in the Christian faith that are attending this, because it's women from, destructive circumstances, marriages. But on the other hand, it was so refreshing because you could sit and talk to anybody and have an instant connection, and you didn't have to explain yourself. Like, I think a lot of us feel like we're constantly having to defend ourselves, or especially those of us who didn't have maybe like extreme physical abuse. It's not as obvious to people in the church that it was abuse. And so just going straight into those conversations, and also meeting people, whether it was the speakers or the individual attendees. My roommate, sweet Olga, she's, I think, coming back again. She had like physically a worse situation than me, but she was so full of hope, and I was so tired and like overwhelmed. And it just was like, just seeing the hope in other people. Like, okay, I feel like I'm a disaster right now, but like they've walked before me, so I know I can do this. So I think the people there, the attendees, had a big impact on me. And it wasn't like we were all in this great place. Like, people were struggling with lots of different things in different places in their healing journey, but also just the speakers, for sure, like just the equipping, the doctor who spoke to, and just sort of tying in what I was physically going through and how it was connected, and things like that. And then just making new friends through it. I have friends now that I see on a regular basis that are through that, through that conference.
That is awesome. And I love how you share just, I feel like that is one of the biggest things for so many survivors, is just connecting with other survivors. And we're such in a state of hypervigilance after we get on domestic abuse, just because it's traumatizing when you've been through domestic abuse, and then to have somebody sit down and make you prove to them how you were in domestic abuse. And it's just, it puts you right back there. So just being in a place where it's just like you can let yourself go, it almost is healing in and of itself, to relax, let down those guards, and feel safe, and know you're not being judged, and you're being fed with the word of God from these speakers about your value, your identity, your worth, and what does God say about abuse? And He's the one that empowers us to overcome it. So I appreciate you sharing that, and I'm excited that you're coming back. What would you say to a woman who's maybe watching this right now, has not signed up yet, but is nervous about coming? Because for me, when I go to a new place, I am nervous about coming, or either it's just as a single mom, it's just hard to get away sometimes, and to be able to worry about your kids, and just like the money, the sacrifice, which we're offering scholarships, so reach out if you need help. What would you say to her?
I think a lot of us that have lived in abuse have made it a habit of not caring for ourselves. And this is an example of some really good self-care that you can actually start practicing, prioritizing your healing and your growth. And I think with this retreat too, like, I know I wasn't the only one who felt like it wasn't, some people I think have like a specific breakthrough at a retreat, like this one thing God healed me of. For me, it wasn't that, but it was like this empowerment to move forward. I don't know how to explain it exactly. Like, being able to just sit in the worship time with other sisters. At the time, I had really struggled with going back to church and things, because I just felt like not safe in the church. And so being able to worship together and, going back into that kind of community, but with safe people, was really helpful. But, the beauty of the location is there's God's nature, like nature is God's healing hand sometimes, you know what I mean? So that is really good. But I would say make it a step to prioritize yourself in your own healing, because you've probably spent too much time thinking of everybody else but yourself. And it's worth it, because the relationships you make there, the connections you make, and the knowledge, the things that you learn, like, knowledge is most definitely empowering. And so that is what helps you. Sometimes we're living so much in the stress and the trauma and the aftermath that we need to engage the knowledge part of our brain instead of the fight or flight, and so a lot of times the knowledge really puts into perspective the things that you've been experiencing. And I mean, half the time you're there, you're just like, I'm not alone. I'm not crazy. There's other people who are going through this. You know what I mean? Like, it's really, really good that way. So I would say definitely prioritize it. Scholarships, there's a lot of wonderful people who've contributed to scholarships. So, reach out and do it. We want to see you there.
Yes, please come. We are very excited. Sandra just told me today we are up to almost 180 participants for the retreat, and we are very excited. So there is plenty of room for you. So please come. We would absolutely love to see you there. And if you need a scholarship, we still have available scholarships to offer you. We have exciting news. We actually are very close to we had a anonymous donor give us a big large amount of money, and so we're very excited, and we are now about $5,000 away from reaching our goal. So
Wow.
we are super excited about that. So please don't, like, I know I posted, doesn't look like many scholarships are there. We're very close. We still have enough scholarships for you. So if you need one, please reach out. You are worth it. Please come. We really want to see you there. And yeah, if you have not donated yet, please do. We're so close. And if we go over our goal, we will find more women to scholarship. So there is always women that need that want to come, and there's women that till March 21st that can still apply for a scholarship. So we are very excited about this retreat, and I'm excited that you're coming with your business. I'm looking forward to seeing what you have, and that was one of my favorite hangout places, is hanging out there in the shopping area and all the books and talking to all the speakers. It was just so fun and relaxing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yes.
I
Is
think
there
it's
anything
going to
else?
be next to the coffee shop too this time. So, oh yeah, as far as the other thing about just Call to Peace in general, not so much, I mean, the retreat too, but I was when I was at the retreat, I was in Dr. Deborah's class and connected with her. And through that, I think right after the retreat, she had offered to bring me into the advocacy program. And I was so overwhelmed with a lot of things. So I ended up starting this January, and I'm so grateful because once I went public with my story, I had people come out of the woodwork that were contacting me. I've been
Yeah.
through this. I'm going through this. I have a friend who's going through this. And I just was like, I don't know how equipped I am. And so the advocacy class is so good. And at the same time, I'm also in a biblical counseling certification course. So the two of them together really complement each other, and they're really helping me. I don't really know for sure what God's going to do with this. I don't know if I'm going to go into counseling or case management or something, but I just know that God is going to Romans 8:28 this situation. You know,
Yeah.
he's going to work things together for his good, and he's already doing it. And it's just different. It just hits different, as they say, when you talk to somebody who's been there. You don't have to go that whole explanation like I was saying before. So I'm really grateful for the advocacy class. It's been really wonderful, and it's just encouraging to see how many people are in it, and not all of us are survivors. And
Yes.
I just pray and hope. Like, I've talked to a couple pastors. I had a conversation with Pastor Dan there at Called to Peace last week or
Yeah.
the week before, because I felt like I was possibly burning bridges with pastors, and I didn't want to do that because I want to be the person that they can come to if they have a situation. So he was super helpful, and yeah, Called to Peace has just been a massive blessing.
Good.
So
Well, and thanks for talking about the advocacy course.
yeah,
I love that. And we're in need of advocates still, very much in need of advocates. I think the amount of women that we're having reach out, which is wonderful. We want it to keep happening, and we expect it to go up after the retreat. Is every single month it gets larger and larger, and so we need women to come and be trained and walk alongside. And it takes a year to train an advocate, so go ahead and jump on in, and you will learn a lot yourself too, as you've probably seen. Like, I
yeah,
know a lot of it's like, I thought I was going to help other people with this, but this helps me. Um,
exactly, yeah.
yes. And so we're excited, and hopefully you'll be coming an advocate affiliated with Call to Peace soon. That would be great. And then, yes, is there anything else that you wanted to add that we had not talked about as far as the retreat? And I see somebody saying that they feel overwhelmed about coming. What would you say to her?
Yeah, that's where I was at. And I think having that other sister reach out to me, it's worth it. Like, there's definitely times when you just feel completely overwhelmed by the thought of doing anything, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a time to step out of that state of overwhelm and really be ministered to. And I think, and especially meet your survivor sisters, which is so, so important. I think just reach out, in the Facebook group for the people that have registered for the retreat. If you need to carpool, if you need someone to help you get from an airport, like, we're here to help you. Your sisters are here to help you do that. That's what was done for me. And, like I have a friend coming in from Brazil that we're reaching out, trying to find her housing near her airport, So it's lean on the community to help you in that overwhelm. Don't not come because of overwhelm.
Thank you for sharing that. And we hope to see you there, Kathy, and we hope to see everybody watching this there. And so, yes, we're counting down the days. We will be, I guess, almost 1 month away in another week, which is crazy to think about. I'm like, wow, it's coming up so soon. And this year it will also be beautiful in nature. It's going to be a different location. It's going to be in Black Mountain, North Carolina, which I've been there before. And Joy has sent some pictures. So you'll notice I'm using quotes and then have the picture in the background. But it's beautiful mountains and sunsets over the mountains. I'm obsessed with sunsets over the mountains. Sorry. And so it's going to be absolutely amazing. Just some places to get away and kind of hike and walk through the woods. And just spend time alone with God too. It's such a rare thing as a single mom to be able to have that time alone. So I'm hopeful for everybody who comes there that you don't come leaving over. You come, you feel overwhelmed, but you do not leave feeling overwhelmed. That you feel full and you feel ready. And you not only that, you don't feel alone anymore. You feel like you have other people behind you supporting you, walking with you through this. And so God sees you, and I hope he meets you there. So I will drop some links in the comments below to donate and to sign up if you have not already. And thank you so much, Jen, for joining us today. I am looking forward to officially getting to meet you at the retreat, and I will come find you at your booth.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, you have a good afternoon, and we hope everybody here has a good day. We will talk to you soon.